Oh. Good morning.
Good morning.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Everybody good? You're awake? You're joyful?
Joyful.
Let me just qualify this for a minute. Not everybody is joyful right now, and that's okay. I just want to say, for whatever reason, if you're feeling it, that's awesome. And if you're not feeling it, you're not wrong. Living in a very difficult world right now, as we all know. We have been living in a very difficult world that appears to be getting more difficult each day, and it has been for several years now. Yes? And yet, we are finding ways to open up to joy, to open up to love, to open up to all of these ideas that we talk about at Unity every single week, right? So, it's the fourth Sunday of Advent. We've talked about, what have we talked about? What are the 4 Sundays of Advent? Do you remember?
Love and joy.
Love and joy, yeah. So the first week is faith, right? Hope and faith together. And then that second week is about peace. And the third week is about love. And now I'm here to bring it all, wrap it all up together into joy. And that's a big deal, because throughout this Advent season, what you have been discovering, hopefully, is more about the faith that you already have, more about the peace that you already have, more about the love that you already have. And that in itself, if you've had any of those realizations at all, you can then open yourselves up to joy just because of that. Right? Just because you've been able to tap in, even if it's for just a few minutes on a particular day, to tap into this thing that I have these resources within me already. I just need to remember. I forget. Advent is this time where we are preparing to celebrate the rebirth of our divinity. And I say rebirth, not everybody does, but I say it because we're already divine in nature. We already have divinity within us, all around us. There is nothing that is not of God, right? Of God. I like to say God mind. I don't believe that God is a separate being in the sky where I go, please, I'll be a good girl, please. I don't believe that. I believe there's a God energy inside of me, and that's what guides me to do the next right thing, even when I don't want to sometimes, right? Yes, that happens to me too. So I guess where I want to go with all of this talk about joy is because holidays are difficult for some people, for whatever reason. Holidays can be difficult because we know that a couple of people have transitioned lately from this group here and from elsewhere in the Unity movement. If those of you who have done any studying with Unity know that Reverend Paul Hasselbeck passed away unexpectedly on December 4th. And he was the metaphysical guru of Unity, and he will be definitely missed. And what I'm going to do in tribute to him, because he was one of my teachers and I learned a lot from this man, what I'm going to do during our meditation time is I'm going to read from his absolute word. He used to rewrite the daily word, right? So you get the daily word. We read it today. We did the affirmation. And what he would do is he would rewrite it, because he felt like languaging was extremely important. In fact, he was so rebellious that he stopped using the word God. He didn't think that word was enough to convey what that one power truly was. He felt that God was principle, that God was love, not loving, but love in itself. God was faith. God was peace. So he stopped using the word God because it conjured up this image. For a lot of us, we used to think that God was an old man in the sky with the white beard, not to be confused with Santa Claus. Santa Claus is a totally different being. But he just felt like that word conveyed confusing meanings, right? So he would change. And there's lots of words you could use. You can use universe with a capital U. You can use creator, source, whatever word you want. You can use God if you want, right? I had a friend of mine who used to call God Gus, guy upstairs. Whatever works for you. In Unity, the beauty is you can go wherever you are felt like you're taken. You can go in whatever direction you want. All year long, I've been talking to you about what do you believe, or do you still believe in A, B, and C, or like let's just use the 5 principles as an example. I talked to you about, do you still believe that everyone is inherently good? Even though what you're seeing on the news, on social media, do you still believe that? And if you do believe it, what are you doing to demonstrate it? It's all about you and what you're doing to make a change. It may seem like, well, what change can I make? If you make a change for one person, if you brighten up one person's day for 4 seconds, you've done something good. And if more people did that, imagine how much better this world would be. Yes? But it all starts with us. And that is both the blessing and the curse of Unity teachings. I'm going to say that right now, because Unity puts all of the responsibility on us. It is no longer going, please, dear God, do A, B, and C. And then if it doesn't happen, well, I guess God didn't want me to have it. It doesn't work that way here in Unity. It's more of I'm looking for more peace in my life. Let me give more peace, because then it comes back to me, right? So one of the questions that I don't want you to answer here, but I want you to take home with you is, have you discovered the faith, peace, and love and joy that is always yours to tap into? And if you have, wonderful, celebrate it and share it. And if you don't feel like you have, go look for it during your meditation in the next week or so, because it's there. I promise you, I wouldn't have you going the hide and seek route if it wasn't there. I promise. Not one of those, okay? So it is there, but sometimes we have to dig deeper than others. Again, I said, the holidays can be difficult for some people. And so I want to try and remember that, and I want to keep throwing it out there because I want you to remember that too. You may come across some people who aren't as happy as, well, I don't like to use the word should, but some people that are not as happy as you think they should be, right? But there's probably a reason. And we may not know the answer. We may find out if we ask gently, what's going on? Can I help? Can I be with you? We have no idea. We never have all the facts. I had a teacher once who used to say that all the time. We never have all the facts. Even if I think I know someone really, really well, and they do something out of character, I don't have all the facts. I don't know what was going on in their head at the particular time that they took whatever action they took, right? So the only way I can be of maximum service is to offer to be with them, just to be with them, and then help them through it. Because they may not be feeling like they have faith right now. They may not be feeling the joy, right? What do you do when you're faced with a challenge in your life and it's Christmas time? Well, how am I going to show up to that office party? Holy cow. I do not want to stand around and eat hors d'oeuvres with these people, right? She's going to ask me again, how old are your grandchildren, and where do they live, and what, it's little things like that. You sometimes don't want to put up with that stuff, right? But then you show up and somebody starts a conversation with you and it ends up going in a direction you didn't expect it to go in, and you go home feeling, wow, that was really, I'm so glad I went, right? It's little things like that. We do our best. So there's a couple of instructions for you this week as you go out and you think about joy and am I really feeling it, am I not? Number one, remember Kathleen said, if you're not feeling it, you're not wrong, okay? That's number one. No grading. Or if you're going to grade yourself, everybody gets an A, okay? That's even better. Let's do that. Everybody gets an A. So we're going out the door. We already have an A going into it. And then no self-judgment, right? Oh, I shouldn't feel this way. I should feel that way. I don't know what's going on. It's just one of those things where we can be so self-critical, and especially at the holidays. Oh, the bow didn't come out right. The wrapping paper doesn't look good. I just buy one big shopping bag and throw all the grandkids' gifts in the shopping bag. I don't even wrap them. What are they going to do? They're going to just tear it up again, right? So, but they're little, so they don't, it's okay. My point is that we can be very judgmental of self. So none of that is allowed. Okay?
That part of my dream, I had to forgive each other.
Yes, you had to forgive. Yeah. It's amazing. Your dream when you were sharing earlier made me think of something. In Unity, we talk about the Bible stories. And we know that the Bible was compiled by a group of men who got together and decided which books were going to go into the Bible and which were not. Okay, so it's not a complete collection. But every story has a bigger meaning for each of us. And one of the things we do is what's called a maieutic interpretation. And that means that we put ourselves in each character's role. And that was very similar to what you were describing, right? So when we talk about, let's say, the Christmas story, what would it have felt like to be like Mary? To be in Mary's position? To be pregnant, not married, and not having a way to explain this to anybody, right? What would it mean to be like Joseph, right? So this angel comes to him and says, dude, she's pregnant, right? And you're going to marry her anyway. That was like totally against all the rules and the regulations back then, right? Like, no way. Yeah. That's what you're going to do. What would it feel like? Put yourself in that position. Because we are all connected. And if we are all one, I believe that we all have that history that has gone, happened long before us, and we're carrying it with us, right? And we're helping our ancestors to heal as well, right? I know I'm going all over the place, but you're used to me by now, right? So if you're new, I apologize. Okay. So how many of you actually got the Advent book for 2025? Did anybody? Okay, a few of you did. Good. Okay, so this, if you're not familiar with it, Unity World Headquarters sends out little booklets throughout the year. They create the daily word, but this is a booklet specifically for Advent for this year. And I was reading one of the stories, and in one of the stories, the Unity minister says something about, well, upon reflection, we have realized we have accomplished so much. And my first reaction was, well, how do you know that? How do you know that I've accomplished? What if I feel like I haven't accomplished anything? Like, what if I haven't even gotten my Christmas shopping done or anything like that? And I thought, holy cow, that's a point in and of itself. If I don't feel like I've accomplished something, does that mean I haven't accomplished anything? And the answer to that is no. I still have accomplished something. You know what? I'm standing here today. I'm in front of you today. I got up a little late this morning, got a late start, and still got here in enough time to put the notes in the book because I don't read from my notes a lot, right? But I got here and I did it, and I made it work because I didn't let the worry get in the way. That's my trick. I just kind of put the worry to the side, and there's nothing to worry about. You're family, right? We're all together. We're all in this together. We get to choose in unity. We get to choose when thoughts pop into our heads and we decide, okay, where am I going to take this thought? When that thought comes into my mind that tells me I'm not enough, and that does happen to me, I'm seeing a couple of heads nodding, so I'm guessing it happens to others, right? What am I going to do with that? Usually what I will say is, no, that's a lie. I am enough. I'm doing as much as I can in this present moment, right? But I have to train myself, right? It's work. Like I said earlier, unity, it's work. We're all responsible. I can't blame Carla.
Everyone else.
No. Or anybody else. I can't blame anybody else. I have choices every single day. So I can choose joy, and I can be a living expression of joy, and so can you. In the heart of this very challenging world that we're living in right now, we can be expressions of joy, along with expressions of faith, peace, and love. They all kind of tie in together, yes? To me, the birth of Jesus represents all of those things coming to fruition, you know? So how about this statement? Joy is not dependent on circumstances. Can you take that into your real world? Can you take that out there with the earth people, right, who may have more traditional views than we do? We use Jesus's teachings. It's not that far off, but we have a little bit of a different view in some areas, and that's okay. My point is, bless you. My point is, can we take it out there and demonstrate for others? Because that's the only way change is going to happen. Have you ever had a person in your life who's going through something difficult and they come to you for help and they ask for your advice and they're actually willing to take your advice? There aren't, not everybody's willing to take it. They may ask for it and then they go, yeah, no, I can't do that. So don't ask. But if they come to you and they take your advice and it works out for them and they come back and they say thank you, it's like a leading by example from your own experience. This is why recovery groups work as well, because recovery groups talk about themselves. They share their stories with other people struggling with addictions to whatever they're addicted to. And there are hundreds of groups. Right? But they share their story and they say, this is what worked for me and how I stopped. Maybe you can stop too. Well, let's just take that to a greater level, a higher level. Let's just go out there and show them what it looks like to live from a consciousness of peace, from a consciousness of joy, from a consciousness of love, from a consciousness of faith, that no matter what, I know I'm going to be okay. No matter what. You are joy in expression. You are open to the experience of joy. I know you are. I can see it on your faces. Every single one of you, I can see it. I can see it in your eyes, right? And like I said earlier, you may not feel it right now. And that's okay. What'd we say? We've all already got an A. We're not going to judge ourselves. We're not going to critique. We're just going to keep on putting one foot in front of the other. I had a really good friend of mine, Father Tom. He was a Catholic priest that I met in a different group. And I heard him speak one time. And what he kept saying was, there are some days that even though I'm a priest, the only thing I can do is put left foot down, right foot down, breathe. Left foot, right foot, breathe. He says, and then I congratulate myself for doing it. Take it, use it. We're going to move into a meditation now about joy, and I am going to read Paul Hasselbeck's entry. I think it's from 2019, where he took the daily word on joy for that particular Sunday, and then he reworded it to make it a more universal type of language. Okay, and he is. I always felt like he was just right on target with everything, because it helped me. He was the first one that challenged me with my languaging, and he was a pain. And you know what? He knows he was a pain, right? But Paul Hasselbeck was a teacher for many years at Unity, and we're going to miss him tremendously. But I wanted to share a little bit of this with you. So I'm just going to kind of read some lines from it throughout the meditation. I invite you to get comfortable in your seats, wherever you may be, and just start by breathing. Just breathe in and breathe out. If you've never meditated before, or if you're not familiar with this, it's just focus on your breath. Just focus on breathing in and breathing out. You can close your eyes if you feel comfortable doing so. You don't have to. Okay. And this is from an encore post of the Absolute Word for Sunday, December 22nd, 2019. My greatest joy is discovering I am the presence of God. In his book, The Revealing Word, Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore defined joy as the happiness of God expressed through his perfect idea, humankind. Witnessing the unbridled joy of children on Christmas morning brings a smile to my face and gives me a warm feeling. And even if my childhood may be a distant memory, joy remains an active part of my life. I find joy in the beauty of holiday decorations, in the fellowship of family and friends, and in the giving and receiving of gifts. I discover that my greatest joy is knowing and feeling I am the presence of God. I recognize and rejoice in this and see the presence of God in everyone I meet. I know that joy is always present and can be called into expression at every moment. My greatest joy is discovering I am the presence of God. We take that into the silence. Joy is at the core of my being. It can exist amidst the saddest of circumstances. My focus is no longer on connecting with all life forms. My focus is on remembering the connection is already there. It can never be broken. I am a radiant expression of light, love, and abundance, and I choose joy. Take a deep breath. Exhale out and release. And so it is. Amen. Take another couple of deep breaths before you open your eyes and come back to this place and time. You are the presence of God. Welcome back, friends.